Well, awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. Good. It's going to be a short crew today. That's no fun because I'm only 5'6". By the way, that's just what we have is a short crew today. So I think what I'm going to do, and I have to hop off in about 10 minutes because I have to go to a meeting in La Jolla at the La Jolla Beach and Tennis Club or something like that. I heard it's supposed to be a nice place. And again, that's why I bought my extra bathing suits with me today. It's 50 degrees out right now? It's cold.
Yeah, it's 54.
So we wanted to do a continuation of lead gen because obviously, lead gen is the most important part of our business. It's pretty much what we do, right? If you're not lead generating, you're not succeeding, you're not selling houses. And one of the things, I want to throw out to you guys real quick before we start talking to everybody is we all have a million ways of generating leads, but I want you to find the one or two things that you'll actually do. So I'll give you an example that I went around, I've been teaching internet lead generation and conversion for 18 years all over North America, right? But the reality is 95% of people will never do it correctly. So I've stopped teaching it now, and I'm looking at things that are like we talked about last week, open houses or Starbucks, things like that. So as you're listening to our things, as you listen to the replay of last week, which I thought was amazing, just try to find one or two things that you'll actually do and then commit. And committing doesn't mean trying it once. It means doing it and then doing it again and doing it again. And even though we'll give you the direct ways to do that, you might want to tweak it a little bit to fit your personality or how you do it. But anyways, so Cam, since you're in the ski country still, right? You freezing up there?
Oh, it was -7 this morning. It was a little chilly. But good morning, everyone. Good morning. I think I'm excited to be on it this week because last week I did miss the lead generation call. Obviously, as everyone knows, my specialty or what I focused on, or what I've really focused and put my time into is lead generation with social media. Now, obviously, most of you guys do know that I do a ton of work with TikTok and Instagram and Facebook Reels and all of the different types of video content. But one thing that's really important about that is if you do decide to use social media, it is just like a farming campaign, or it's just like any kind of lead generation avenues. You're not going to start on day 0 and have a lead on day 3. It's going to be a months and months and months of process, and you have to stay committed. If you're not going to do it every single day, or at least 4 out of 7 days, the results are going to not be there. And if you're not going to have results, there's no reason to even start. There's no reason to waste your time and get frustrated with the process, because I think we've all been there where we start lead gen, someone tells us it works, or they sell us a course, or they sell us this program, and they promise the world, and it doesn't deliver. Well, social media specifically is that way. Can you tell me, Mitch, real quick, did you guys go over social media last week? Because like I said, I wasn't here.
No, I don't think we talked too much about social media. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be real brief and just kind of jump through what we're doing that's working. We're generating about 3 to 5 leads a day. Now, with that said, I've been doing these social media profiles for our local market for about 18 months now. So expect that in a year, you will have a consistent lead flow with social media if you're consistent. But if you're not going to have that lead flow. So our number one lead generation source right now, which is great because it's also free. So it works great for newer agents that aren't wanting to spend $200, $300, $400 per lead, is we're using TikTok, we're using Instagram, and we're using Facebook Reels. And the reason that we're doing that is that these different social media systems have an algorithm. So we can post a video about ourselves, our homes, whatever it may be. And that's the amazing thing. People will follow you no matter what you're doing and who you are. But you're able to get it out in front of the masses. You can post a video on a listing that you did or an open house that you're doing. And if you're done right with the right hashtags and the right music, you can get that out to 30, 40, 50,000 people in a day, which is really hard to do in other paid advertising. So if you guys are not doing social media, I highly recommend it. It's a great free avenue for buyers, but it is a lead source that does take a long time to build up. It's not instant. And that's why I think a few of the other lead generation ideas that we have here on this call might be a little bit quicker for you and get you going faster, selling homes quicker, but you can still continue your social media presence. You can build your brand while you're doing other things. Does anybody in the chat have questions that I could answer about social media before we move on? Because that's really the biggest thing I want to help people on lead generations. Absolutely. I can post my handles here on the chat, but that's really the thing. If you have any social media questions, I'd love to answer them for you. If not, let's jump over. Craig, I know you had a bunch to do this morning. I'd love to chat with you, but post your social media questions in the chat and then I'll answer them later on. Is that fair? Cool. All right, Craig,
Yeah,
take over.
that's
I want to
great.
hear your top lead generation ideas, and then I'm going to answer everyone's social media's questions anyway.
First of
Afterwards.
all, y'all better be cheering for Philly. Let's go. Let's go. So a little fired up. I'm going to tell you, the biggest thing is the social media is great. I've started it. Brand yourself. It's uncomfortable. It is not comfortable. So lead generation is not comfortable. But you got to go find a safe space that you're happy in, not where Mitch is, not where Cameron is, not when I am, because we all have our own DNA and our own way of attracting clients. There's multitudes of ways, but I'm going to share with you right now what 3 brand new agents in the past month have been doing within my organization with EXP, wherever you're at, it doesn't matter, but they're doing it. And actually they're like, oh my God, it's working, and it's working very quickly for them. And they have 0 listings. We've talked about open houses. We've talked about all that, but let's go to the social media Cameron's talking about. Learn to do squeeze pages. Learn to do squeeze pages. You don't need listings to do squeeze pages or landing pages. If you're working within KV Core, you can go to the part that says lead generation, lead engine, and click squeeze page or landing page. And you make them generic. You can search all the homes from, I'm just using an example, all the new construction homes in a given county. And you can make that squeeze page and say, looking for a home in this neighborhood, boom. All new construction, boom. People click it, and what does it do? It sucks their information in. Then it tags you, and you have an option to follow up immediately, or the next day, when it tags my VPs, my virtual assistants and professionals, they automatically follow up within about 6 hours of it with an email and also a phone call. So those are the weeks. The follow-up is the fortune in the lead generation. But if you have no listings, and through broker reciprocity, you can do this. It doesn't state that it's just you, it's just you posting it. So find a way in your marketplace to do squeeze pages. Post at least one every day. Every day. You want to become the expert, and don't do the same ones. Try to change the areas. Do single family homes from this to this. New construction, houses with pools and docks. I don't know, but find out what's hot in your area and start promoting. Promote all open houses in the area. And then put in there, by the way, if you're going to any of these open houses and you'd like to have an agent represent you, I'd be more than happy to help you. Again, now you're trying to find buyers. Those are the hottest things that we've been doing right now. Squeeze pages every day. I'm even doing it. I'm posting luxury squeeze pages. So that's the #1 thing I've got for you, Cam. Do the squeeze pages, and the fortune's in the follow-up, like Mitch had said in the past.
Yeah,
I think that's, sorry, Mitch, go ahead. That's really the most important thing. We're going to talk about lead generation, you guys. And remember, the goal of lead generation, this is something that's very important. We all get into this where we start worrying about how many leads we're generating, how good our lead systems are working. Remember, the only reason that we're generating leads is to find buyers and sellers to convert into sales. So you have to continue to analyze that, drop down the final number that comes out of your sales number, and that is really going to tell you how successful your lead generation is. But like Craig was just saying, the follow-up is so important with all of these different lead systems. Mitch, take it over.
Yeah. So thanks, Jim. So yeah, and keep in mind, social media is one aspect. Now, I personally have never generated leads on social media. All my leads were done through pay-per-click marketing or open houses, which we've talked about before. And when I speak, I'm going to rattle off like 5 or 7 or 8 other things that you can do that are fun, that don't cost a lot of money, because all these things are investments. And there's a time frame. I'm always a guy that I'm a direct marketer, meaning that I like to get results from my marketing instantly. I don't like to build, even though I did that with my internet programs. So we'll go over that in a minute. But first, I want to go to Matt. Let's talk to Matt for a minute on Matt. What lead gen things are you doing, or that you suggest to our agents do?
Yeah, it's funny when you were just talking, because I'm kind of the same way. So my feeling, and I think for everybody on this call, social media is awesome, but I think it is a little bit of a longer play. And because we're in the middle of February and our busy season is really the next 3-4 months, I'm more of a immediate gratification kind of person. So I really prefer, I'm doing a couple of paid lead generation campaigns right now. One is um, I am just running ads on YouTube, right? And by the way, I got this program going by simply picking up the phone and calling Google, which owns YouTube, and saying, and getting a rep and saying, look, I'm in real estate. I want to generate leads. Help me set up an account. And this is my budget. And so, at any rate, I recorded a video in my kitchen in December, and I've been running that, and it's been generating listings. I'm going after seller leads on YouTube. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm going after primarily buyer leads by doing a pay-per-click campaign. And the pay-per-click campaign, again, whatever your budget is, it's kind of an interesting story with me because I did TV. I started doing TV ads here in San Diego in 2004. And I did them all the way until last year. And I saw more and more of a diminishing return from the ad dollars that I spent on TV. And the reason is because we're all watching streaming things, right? We're watching Netflix and we're watching, Amazon, et cetera. People aren't really sitting around watching TV as much, and everybody's on their phones. And everyone's on their computers. They're online. So the wonderful thing about both YouTube and pay-per-click is you can target your marketing, right? So you're not just taking a shotgun and shooting it out into your county where you live and hoping hoping to hit somebody. You can actually target the people that you want to target. You can target them by income, whether they own a home, et cetera, and what their habits are online. So that's been a big switch for me to go from my marketing used to be primarily TV and direct mail. Now my marketing is primarily pay-per-click and YouTube, and then I still experiment with a lot of direct mail. So for anybody on this call that is not is maybe a little intimidated by doing stuff online, I mean, the reality is direct mail still works. What I'm also experimenting right now is there's artificial intelligence that they have now that really I primarily go, when I do direct mail, I go after listings, and they do have data now that instead of just mailing to a zip code, you can get a mailing list that is people that are likely to sell, and that's based on what their browsing habits are online, what their shopping habits are, right? What they're buying with their credit cards and all these things. And they can identify people that seem more likely to sell. And so and you have to test everything, but I'm doing some test marketing right now, again, going after likely sellers. But there's nothing more old school than direct mail. But you know what? Direct mail still works. And it does, like I always say, it does not matter what your budget is. You do not have to have a giant budget. You can send out mailers for as little as about 50 cents a pop. So even if your budget is a couple $100 a month, you can still hit 100 homes a month. So all of those work. And then again, you hear everybody on this call, on the panel, talking about, hiring an ISA, for example. Well, you don't need to do that. You can follow up on your leads just the way an ISA can. You just call them up and talk to them, right? It's not right. I think we overthink this stuff. You know what I mean? Right. So all those things work. Everything works and nothing doesn't. So you got to do
Matt, we got a couple of questions for you. Do you use a PPC company, and who do you use?
So for the pay-per-click, I hired a company called Agent Launch. Okay. And that's actually that company was started by an EXP agent from Canada, I think from Vancouver, Canada. His name is, I believe, is Eric Preston, really nice guy. And the reason I hired that particular company there are a bunch of companies out there that will create pay-per-click and run pay-per-click campaigns for you. But what I don't like about the majority of the companies, and what I do like about Agent Launch, is they help you create a campaign. They train you on how to create a campaign, and they do it under your account. And you basically do a 6-month commitment with them. And at the end of 6 months, you own everything. You own all the data, you own the campaigns. And then if you want to take them over, you can take them over.
What
But
about
you on your own. But the YouTube, I almost just did it on my own by reaching out to Google, because I've run my own pay-per-click campaigns in the past. It's a little bit time consuming, and there's a learning curve, but it is doable.
Yeah, it's gotten a little more complicated these days too.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
And then one more question for you is the budget. What do you think an accurate budget for pay-per-click would be? I know it depends on the person, of course, but
yeah. So I'll give you an example. When I first reached out to YouTube, which is similar as far as the budget goes, they recommended a budget of, I think, $60 a day. So what is that? $1,800 a month. It can be as little as whatever you can afford, right? Because you're going to get a return on it. I mean, fortunately, we're not selling cheeseburgers, we're selling houses, and we get pretty good commissions, right? So I think pay-per-click is a really good thing. I think pay-per-click generates more typically buyer leads, but as we all know, a lot of buyers are also sellers.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we've got a lot of listings from our buyer leads over the years, many listings. All right, great, good stuff. David, Mr. David, I think you're in the same place as Kim, right? Oh no, Kim, you're in Jackson now, right? Yeah. So what's up, Dave?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to just say thanks to Cameron. He came to our office meetings a couple times. He spent a week and a half here in Park City. We were able to go to dinner. I learned a tremendous amount from him. And now I feel like he's not just somebody on the panel. He's a true friend. He came out here, and what he did for our team and helping everything, I can't even thank him. In fact, I think I have to take a trip to Florida and help his group now. I mean, it was amazing. So thank you, Cameron. So there's a lot of things that, one of the things that, there's all the standard stuff. Oh, you need to do FSBOs and expireds and canceled and withdrawn listings. And those things work. But the thing is there's a couple things that I really want to emphasize. Number one is our market's changing, and 90% of the agents are going to go down and have a really tough year or two. And there's 10% of us that are going to blossom and take over market share. In fact, I'm doing a thing in my office that a class that I did back in 2008, 9, and 10 called How to Increase Your Market Share in a Declining Market. But I don't want to get into that because we're talking about lead generation. So for me, one of the things that most important thing is I do a lot of the regular stuff, but a lot of my stuff is, and we talked about it, the riches are in the niches, right? So some of my favorite lead sources are absentee owners. If you're in a ski resort, we had that whole thing last time on investors, second homeowners, luxury sellers. And then the other thing is vendors, whoever that you use. Whoever is your mortgage person, whoever is your title person, whoever is your home inspection or home warranty or your contractors or so, you need to go out and ask them for business, because these are people that we're constantly giving and giving and giving business to them. I mean, think of it. We are their unpaid, we're on their team. We're on their sales team. It's just they don't pay us. So that's a way to get it back. So anyway, that's mainly the thing I wanted to share with everybody today. And the other thing is as people were already talking, there's AI out there. One of my things that I've had a lot of success over the last year or so or two is offers. So it's OFFRS. And what you can do is you can buy an area. It's not really a zip code, but in ours, in one of our zip codes in Park City, Utah, there's about 4 areas. It's a few $100s a month. But what is great about this is they give you names and phone numbers, sometimes email addresses. But the thing is they're using AI. So there could be 8,000 people in this big giant area, and then they give you 20%. So there's only 1,600, and then we market to those people. And the advantage is, and basically what they say is the 20% that they give us they amount to about 60% of the homes that are going to be actually listed in the next year. So that's one thing in particular that you can do. And then the other thing is we just have to focus on, in this, we're always talking about new things, but don't forget the old things. In my business, past clients and my center of influence is always a phenomenal program. In fact, when I talked to my team and the agents, we just did right before this, we were talking about, we need to talk to everybody. And I mean, everybody, and don't have any preconceived ideas. For instance, I heard that 80% of the people that bought a home during COVID were unhappy with the sale. They didn't like the price. They didn't get the home that they wanted, all kinds of things. And so we're reaching out, and I'm having my agents reach out to those people and say, hey, I just wanted to see, and Mitch, how's that new house going? And then they start talking, and you ask good questions, and pretty soon you find out, you know what, they might be able to sell that house, make a little money, and get into a new house. So now everybody loves the buy sales. So think of it like that. So anyway, there you have it.
Great stuff. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen and rattle off 34 ways to generate leads, because we have plenty of time here to do this. And I wasn't gonna do that, but since we have plenty of time to do this, I'm gonna do this. I
Is
just
there
gotta
also
find
a
it on
link
my.
to that? You can put it in for everybody?
I don't, but if I don't have a link for it. It's there's a YouTube on my YouTube channel. I have a webinar on this.
Okay.
Give me a second. I have a glare on my screen, so it's hard for me to even look at this stuff. All right. So open houses we've already talked about at nauseum. So I'm not going to talk about open houses. I'm going to rattle through these things and not look at any questions, but I'm going to go through these. These are almost all things that either I've done or some of my agents have done over the years. Garage sales and estate sales. One of my agents continually gets 8 sales every single year by going to yard sales, garage sales. Right, pretty simple. Move-in parties. One of my favorite things to do. I did this. I would have a move-in party every time I sold a house, and I'd put out a postcard to everybody in the neighborhood. Come meet the Joneses on Saturday from 11 to 2 or whatever. I'd bring a barbecue, beer, wine, water, soda. And from a high-end standpoint, the last time I did this with a friend of mine who bought a $2 million home, and we got two $850,000 buyers from it. We did a party, a private chef party. That was kind of fun.
Mitch, not to interrupt you, but going back to garage sales, 1 out of every 8 garage sales sell their home within 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, isn't that great? Yeah, he's done really well with those. Sponsor sports coach, thanks for that input. And by the way, stop me if you want to add into this stuff, because I'm going to rattle them off. Sponsor sports club. So I was known as the $100 guy. So everybody around town knew they can come to me and do all the high school sports would all come to me, and I paid them $100, and it got my name out there really good in the neighborhood as community guy. Teach classes for companies. We've done this with several companies over the years, but we would go in and speak and talk about the home buying process or the home selling process, or the market shift, things like that. Works really, really well. Farming area. I'll talk about this for a minute. Farming is phenomenal. It's not dead, and postcard marketing is amazing. but it's all about consistency. Matt will talk about that, I'm sure. The guy that taught me postcard marketing, he did 8 postcards in a row when he first started in the neighborhood, 8 weeks in a row, and then every other week forever. So if you're going to farm a neighborhood, again, consistency. So marketing equals consistency equals sales. If you're not consistent with all this stuff, don't waste your money, right? Also, if you're going to farm an area, you have to know the turnover rate. And we've talked about that in the past. If you do not know the turnover rate, you do not spend a penny, because if you have a turnover rate of under, my number is 8%, and you're spending money that has something on a 2% turnover rate, that means 2 out of 100 homes sold the last year, you're wasting your money. So you want something with an 8% or higher turnover rate. Networking. I'm a huge believer in being a leader. Maybe that's just a short person complex, I'm not sure. But start your own BNI group, start your own networking group. These days, you don't have to rent a space anymore. You can do everything on Zoom. But every one of us on here knows an insurance guy, a mortgage guy, a title guy, a lawyer, a plumber, an electrician. I mean, I can go on and on with everybody we deal with, and home inspectors. Bring them into your network and share leads. Very important. Wedding conventions. One of my agents does really, really well at wedding conventions. It's all she does all year long, and she does about 15 sales a year. Most of her leads come from wedding conventions. Uber, Lyft, and taxi drivers, especially if you're in a place that has, like we have the Cape Canaveral Port Canaveral here, all the cruise ships. One of my friends is a taxi driver there, and I would give him cars. He's not anymore, but I would give him cars, and I would sell at least a half a dozen homes a year just from that, because they're all people from out of the area. Hotels, staycations. I think I might have talked about this before, but if you're in a nice area, or even not, if you're in a city, go in a hotel and stay in the hotel, because generally people in the hotel are not people that live there. And you can also write that off and have a nice little weekend away. Financial planners. They're always talking to their people about, properties and their investments. Good people to know. CPAs, same idea. Commercial agents. If you're not a commercial agent, I will tell you one thing I know about commercial agents: they hate residential. They don't want to do it. So hook up with a really strong commercial agent and just pay them a referral fee all day long, right? New home builders, really important. So new home builders get a lot of buyers, right? But what do those buyers a lot of them have to sell their homes. And what they'll do is they'll give those leads to the people they like in the real estate industry. So if you're doing deals with new home builders, talk to them about giving you listing leads. Marriage counselors, right? Marriage counselors, what happens when in a marriage counsel? We know they're headed for divorce and bankruptcy, right? So know your marriage counselors, know your divorce and bankruptcy judges, and know your divorce attorneys. Lots of stuff. All right, I think someone talked about this a little bit, but I want to talk about it really quickly. If you're not asking your vendors for deals, then you're missing out on deals. So I'll give you a quick story behind this. I had a mortgage broker that I gave I probably gave him about 150 to 200 deals in the first 4 years I was in the business. And I never even got a bottle of wine at Christmas. So I said to him one day, I said, I think I want you to start giving me some leads. He's like, well, I can't do that. I go, why can't you do that? He goes, well, if I do it for you, I have to do it for everybody. I go, well, who's asking? He goes, nobody. I go, well, if I don't get a lead from you in the next 90 days, I'm going to find another realtor, another lender. I never got a lead from him, and I moved on. This should not be a one-way street, guys. This should be I'm going to give you business, but you got to throw something my way. And I just wanted one deal a year. I was happy. Mortgage companies, title companies, lawyers, all these guys deal with deals without a realtor. They need to include you in that, or don't use them. Find somebody that will. Or if they're not doing that, have them contribute to, hold on a second. They can have them contribute to your marketing campaign. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Our mortgage people pay $9,660 a month.
Yep.
For to help us with lead gen. So it is a two-way street.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of you were asking, budgets and stuff like that. If you're doing a decent amount of deals, your mortgage company will work with you, right? Your title companies will work with you. They will invest money in your business to help you grow. Yeah. So I would definitely be doing that. Same thing again, title companies, inspectors, appraisers, all these guys that we give business, it's all one-way street. I'm so tired of one-way streets. I worked my butt off to be successful in this business, as I know all of you do. And they just come in and say, hey, I'll buy you a cup of coffee and give me, right? I don't like people giving. They need to start giving some stuff up. Yeah. Again, attend local classes that you're in, right? One that's not on here is Go to the grocery store and stand in the longest line. Like I've sold dozens of homes at Publix, our grocery store chain here in Florida. I go to the groceries. I love grocery shopping. It's all the old 80-year-old women all hit on me. It's great. It's a lot of fun. And I go to the longest line, and this is a really, really tough opening question. I say to the person next to me, I go, how's your day going? And what do they always say back? It's going good. How's your day going? Every time. And then you say, well, I'm in the real estate business. It's crazy. Oh, you're in the real estate business? I mean, it's easy. I love lines. The longer the line, the better. More time to relate. Play golf. If you are not a golfer, become a golfer. Here's the beauty of golf. You go to the golf course and they will hook you up with 2 or 3 other people to play with. And then they're stuck with you for 4 hours. So they get to know you, get to build a relationship. I've sold a gazillion golf courses. And I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago, I was playing on the golf course, and a guy that I got hooked up with was an ex NFL player for the Seahawks. He was starting to tell me about this development he was buying, and I go, "Oh, are you working for the real estate company?" He goes, "No." So we are going to be manning all 4 of their models, all because I played golf that day. Right? Door knock with a purpose. If you're going to door knock, don't just knock on a door. Say, hey, look at me, I'm wicked awesome. Go there and give them, the souls and the actives in the area, or go in when a house has gone under contract. Go and say, hey, I don't know if you know 555 Main Street just went under contract. Do you know anybody else looking to buy or sell here? We have a lot of buyers for this neighborhood. Purpose, have purpose. Hobby, there's a group called meetup.com. You can join all sorts of different hobbies. What I would recommend is don't join a hobby that is all realtors, because you're not going to sell your houses that way. But meetup.com is great. And if there's no groups that you want to join there, start your own group, start your own hobby. Starbucks I talked about last week, so I'm not going to talk about that. But for those of you who weren't on it, sit in Starbucks from 8 to 11, Monday through Friday. On the back of your laptop, write real estate question, ask me. Simple, right? Singles organization. If you're single, go join a singles organization. If you're married, don't tell your wife or your husband to go join a singles organization. Okay, that's a joke. My wife wouldn't appreciate that joke. Let's see what else we got here. Stock parties, do poker parties at your house. Right. And by the way, all of this stuff is about you being the leader, you being the connector. And when you're the connector, people work with you. I have not personally looked for a lead since 2005. And up until I stopped selling houses last year, I always sold between 25 and 30 homes, very, very part-time every year. But the only reason why I do that, everybody knows I'm a connector. Everybody knows that I will help them find the right people to do whatever they need to do in their life. Poker parties are fun, right? I don't know what bunco parties are. I know Pat, my general manager, has them, so I guess they're fun. No idea what that is. If you know somebody working in a nursing home or assisted living center, partner with them, right? One thing we know about nursing homes and assisted living homes, people don't leave there. They don't go back home. So those homes have to be sold. I know maybe that's a little morbid, but it's just the reality, right? Sponsor cities, community stuff. This is all this is about. Sponsor, things and be in the community. The more you're in the community, we have a local company in our area who's done an amazing job. They took over the boat parade, and they're killing it. They're doing really, really well because they're really community-minded organization. And even though they're my competitor, I love what they're doing. I think it's amazing. Country club, join a country club. And if you don't golf, join a country club and join the social part of the country club. Everybody says to me, Mitch, I want to sell higher end homes. Well, why are you hanging out at the local, this is going to sound mean, thrift shop? Don't do that. Go to country clubs, right? Because that's where all the rich people hang out. Is it going to cost you money to join the? Yeah, it is. But you should do that. You should also join yacht clubs, right? Same thing. HOAs, anybody in the HOA, run for the president. Be visible. Now, they might not like you, but you might get a deal or two before they hate you. PTA, volunteer. If you have grandkids or kids, you should be at their school volunteering all the time, right? I know people that have made a living being volunteers at schools and attending church. Just doing that. Local schools, that's what we just talked about. And that's it. So I know I just rattled that off really, really quickly. Let me share this thing. But I wanted to give you an idea. Sorry, let me get rid of this for a second. An idea of multiple ways. So the point of what I just did is there's a million ways to generate leads in our business. And it really just depends on you and your creativity. I honestly, I mean, social media is awesome. Pay-per-click marketing, which is what I'm known for, is awesome. It's a long play, right? Open houses, circle of influence. I think I said last week, you know, you have more business sitting here on your phone, my blurred phone, than you do anywhere. So why are you chasing leads, right? Go in and make a list of every single person that you know, and send them an email twice a month. People use you because you happen to be in front of them at the time you're thinking about buying or selling, right? That's it. And so you have to be in front of your circle, but your circle is more than just your past customers. Your circle is everybody you know. And you send them an email. First email every month is market updates. Just show them the market updates. Hey, one of the things I do for my friends and family, keep them updated in the local market, below the stats for last month. Boom. And then 2 weeks later, you send them another email. You know, one of the things I like to do for fun is keep my friends and family updated on fun things to do in Ribak County, Florida. Here's my top 10 things. Boom. It's not about the content, it's about the contact. All right, so who else wants to throw some more stuff? We got tons of time left here, guys. Yeah, Craig.
I got a bunch of stuff. Craig, go for it, yo.
But I'm gonna throw through two touch and Phillies. I am not doing this. I'm copying this from a few other people. One is, I know Philly's got a big event and he does luxury properties. He's invited all his clients to a luxury party at a penthouse with a view that overlooks the parade in city of Philadelphia, which is figure out if there's a celebration, how do you get the people to the event, but kick it up a level that they can't get to it or haven't done it before. Then on top of it, there's some young ladies that I'm friends with in San Diego that have taught me how to be a little more touchy-feely as the ROG. And what my girls have made up this past week, the last 100 sales we've done, the last 100 sales, they've made Valentine bags up for it. So what they've done is for the past 3 days and the next 5 days, as I'm going to different areas, they're saying, Craig, you're dropping this off at their door, snapping a picture and sending it to them. I know some people want them to have them hand delivered, some people, whatever. If I'm going in that direction, I'm doing it because they want it coming from my phone. So if you're looking to touch base with people you haven't touched base with, this is just people in the past, 12 to 14 months we're dealing with. So just giving you some ideas that are last minute, that if you really want to touch, do something you normally don't do. Maybe all of a sudden you'll get a lead. So had to share that, Mitch.
Yeah, it's great. And here's the reality is the reason why people don't get sales is because they don't ask. Right? It's just not that. This is not, it's just not rocket science. And I think people try to read more into all of this stuff than there really is. And if you just go out there and connect, get out of your house. I might have said this last week. I don't remember because I don't remember yesterday. But I had one of my agents come see me recently, and she's struggling. And I said, well, what are you doing? She goes, I'm on social media all day. That's my thing. I go, yeah, but you haven't sold a house yet. So I said, that's great. So I made this a coffee shop not too far from where we are. And I said, go there. And I want you to go in line and stand in line. And I want to ask the person in front of you or behind you, say, how's your day going? Right. Anyway, I got a call 2 hours later. She got a listing by doing that. Right. Yeah. Again, on your phone, I was in Indiana the other day, teach a class out there, which by the way, India in the winter sucks. Especially for a Florida boy. Kim, I don't know how you've been spending so much time up there, but I made everybody take out their phone and say, I'm in a class right now. We're having a contest and I could really, really use your help. If you know someone looking to buy or sell, could you send me their contact info? One of the girls walked out of there with a $980,000 listing before the day was up, with an average price in that neighborhood of $250, just by texting that. So if you're doing nothing, do something, right? I don't care what it is. We just threw out a whole bunch of stuff. Anyways, who else? Who's got some more stuff to throw out here? Cam?
Yeah,
I do. Absolutely. Oh no, Matt, go for it, man. You're the man.
No, all I was going to say is, all of those things are so good, Mitch, that you listed, but you actually have to go out and do them. I mean, we're in the lead generation business. That is your job every day of the week, is generating leads. And they are not going to come to you magically. I mean, I just don't even know how else to put it. They are not going to just magically appear in your email or on your doorstep. You actually have to do something to generate leads. And it doesn't matter what your budget is. You can go out and knock on doors. You can hold an open house, a vacant open house, open 7 days a week. You can stand in the line at the grocery store and talk to people. I love I actually have ordered those stickers that you're talking about to put on the back of people's laptops. You know, the real estate questions asked. There's so many different ways to do it, but you just got to go out and do it. You got it. None of these things will work by themselves.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, you have to do it. And by the way, you know, I know an agent that does 30 transactions a year by sitting at Starbucks Monday through Friday, 8 to 11, with real estate question, ask me on the laptop. You know,
Yeah, and
pretty simple.
Gang, we're in a business that is it's a contact sport. And so one of the things that I did, I just looked up some notes that I had. So, okay, so everybody, I want you to think about this. You just got I wrote down 33 things from Mitch, right? We got 50 different ideas. So what I always say when you come to this mastermind, you're going to pick up something, but don't try to pick up 36 or 45 things. So one of the things that I always do is I say, and it doesn't matter if you go to a real estate conference or you're in this mastermind group or anything, what you want to do is you want to be focused on what is it I'm going to actually do. So what I always say is pick two things, maybe three things that you're going to implement out of this one mastermind group, right? And then what you have to do is you have to come up with a plan for 90 days. Because that's what you need to do, or you got to focus on it, right? And then don't try to do three things at once. Take the first one and implement it until it's really working. And then you take the second thing. And then in my coaching, I said, these are 4 questions that you should ask yourself if you're going to be taking on something. And what do I have to do to get better at it? So number 1, I wrote down, what are the skills that I need to practice in order to master for me to actually feel comfortable working this particular lead source? Second question, how long will it take me to implement this lead source? And what's the time that you're going to dedicate to this lead source, right? You can't just try to do this and do it willy-nilly. Number 3, how long will this particular lead source take me to become profitable in my business? And number 4, how much will this lead source that I've decided to do, what's it going to cost me? Do I have the funds necessary? And like Mitch and everybody on this said, we have to do it with what? Consistency, right? And then the last thing I was going to just say is, remember, everybody, lead generation is the most important activity or job that you have if you're in real estate, right? And once you get in the habit of doing lead generation every day, your business will absolutely grow, and it'll grow at a very rapid pace. And in order to do this, there's only one way to do it. And you need to block out time every day. 1 to 2 hours a day. I mean, you're in a sales business. If you were paid $500,000 to be the top salesperson at IBM, and they said, I want you to work 40 hours a week, and what's your job? I want you to sell 40 hours a week, right? If we all sold 40 hours a week, we would be out of real estate in 2 or 3 years because we'd make so damn much money. I'm telling you, do lead generation 1 or better yet 2 hours a day. Do it religiously. Do it over and over and over. And I have a saying for so this is harsh, but so Cameron knows my staff now, right? So you know what I do? I put up a stop sign on my door. It says prospecting in progress. If there's a fire in the building, unless the fire's at my door, don't come get me. And I have a saying, to my staff, if you bring me a problem while I'm prospecting or doing my lead generation, you are the problem. Believe me, those problems, by the way, when you're doing lead generation and you have an assistant or somebody and they can't talk to you for 2 hours because you're doing your job. And I also have my staff help hold me accountable. Believe me, 90% of all those problems are dealt with without me. I don't need to deal with them. And the last thing I say is, listen, write this down. I have a quote: nothing happens until a sale is made. And we all know that most leads or most sales come from lead generation, especially if you're a newer agent in the business, right? So we know one thing for sure. There's people in my marketplace, there's people in your marketplace. They're going to buy and sell real estate today. And our job as a professional realtor is to find a buyer or find a seller who wants to sign a contract today. That's our job. You know, I did the 2-minute Tuesday about start every day at 0. You know, we sold $296.5 million of real estate last year, right? I could totally be complacent, but I have this thing in my mind. I wake up in the morning, I have no money, I have no leads, I have no listings, I have no prospects, I have no money in the bank, I have nothing, right? What's my job today? To go find one person who wants to sign a contract to buy or sell, or better yet, get in the middle and get both deals or both sides. But the problem is, you know, or not the problem, but the only way it works is just what Nike says, just do it.
Do it. You know, it's funny, Dave, because, you know, all of us here have coached a lot of agents over the years, right? In helping, well, Camden has for a lot of years because he's only 12 years old, but the rest of us have coached a lot of agents.
Yeah, I'm hiring him, by the way, Mitch.
Yeah, it's always the same. It's always the same, though. You know, I meet with agents. I'm going to give you a quick story because we have a few more minutes left here. And I want to. It's very. I thought this is one of the most powerful stories that have happened to me in the past several years with an agent. So I had an agent come to me and said, "Mitch, I'm just letting you know I'm leaving EXP." I'm like, "Okay, you know, have a nice life, but let me ask you why." So she said to me, "Well, you know, it's been, I think it was 4 months or 6 months, and she hadn't had a sale yet." I said, "Well, let me ask you a question about that." And this is going to be a little harsh, by the way, but I just want to be honest with what I said. And I said to her, "Let me ask you a question. So when we first joined, you sat down with me and we talked about your circle of influence. And I give you an exact plan to follow. And all you had to do was create 2 lists of people, your list of everybody that you market area and your list of everybody you know out of your market area." So I never did that. I go, "So you," she goes, "No." And I do open houses. And you said, "Yeah, I can do open houses." I told you exactly how to do them, exactly the program. We have tons and tons to follow that do really well. And did you do that? She goes, "Well, I did last weekend. I got to buy." I go, like, "No shit, my friend." And so, and she goes, I guess XP doesn't suck. Your broker doesn't. I don't suck. You suck. To be harsh with her on that because with human nature is we like to look for reasons why not to be, instead of finding the reasons why we should be successful. And no, she's 45 years old. Her hundreds and hundreds of people. And I guess that's my point with this. Of just the people you know, you will never not be successful. Your friends want to help you. I wrote in here I'm in a class right now and we're having a contest. Really use your help. If you know somebody home, could you send me their contact info? Actually take the time to do that on the call and send that to 100 people in your contact. You will get responses. I guarantee you. You will get responses. I guarantee you, but I won't pay for it. You have to implement. And the number one reason why people have implementation, 100%. I mean, I've been doing this. I've seen agents who could have been I mean, look at this. This is I only have a personality. I look like this. I wasn't successful because of my looks, that's for sure. Except for the 8-year-old woman that gave me a piece of land that I'm still stuck with. That was a $1,500 a year maintenance fee in Pennsylvania that I'll never use. But anyways, Yeah. I'm gonna give it to you, Craig, but anyways, I mean, I don't mean to lecture here, but we do this call every week and we're committed. You guys see us here every week. I mean, sometimes some of us can't make it because we're all busy, but we love you guys and we really want to help you sell houses. But we
Mitch,
can't
can
help
I-
you if you're not prepared to help yourself. Go ahead,
Can
Craig.
I throw a double dog dare on something you just said?
Sure.
How many of you guys got the nuts to do at least 50 of them? I'm gonna call you all out now. I'm gonna send 50 out this afternoon. I'm not saying 100 because I don't know if I have the time for 100, but I'm gonna commit to a 50 of what Mitch just said. Put it in the chat box if you're in or not, because I'm gonna double dog dare you whether you do or you don't.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna
Yeah,
put,
just
we're gonna
do
put
it.
our money where our mouth is and say, if we can do it, I don't want to hear excuses. Excuses are made for quitters, second line, and all the guys that didn't, or ladies that don't follow through. So Mitch, thank you for putting that there. I'm gonna do it. I'm looking forward to seeing next week how many, keep your numbers, because the first question we're gonna ask next week is going to be, did you have the guts to step up? And if you didn't, don't even show up on the call because it's going to be embarrassing. We're going to call you.
You
out.
can still show
All
up. on the call.
commitment is there.
He's
All
so
right,
mean.
there
So
you go.
those
I love
Northeast
it.
people. Hey, just real quick, if you're gonna do that, which a lot of people are saying they're gonna do that, make sure you be personal. Hi, Bill. Hi, Tom. Make sure so you copy it into your notes section and copy and paste into your phone. And look at it. You can do this all day long. The last time I did it to 90, not me, one of my agents did it to 90 people when we were sitting in a bar. He got 2 leads in 5 minutes, sold 2 homes in 2 weeks. Go ahead, Cam.
All right. So if you're going to do this with us, I need you to type in the chat, I'm in, so we can see it. So your names are there. The other thing is just to jump off that one farther step. You can do a video text. If you want to really optimize that text, guys, hey, it's Cameron. Hey, John. Hey, Mitch. It's Cameron. I'm in a class that just got done and I had a challenge that I'd love for you to help me with. That same script you just used, do it in a video text. It makes it even more personal. I'm glad we all felt the same way. And I hope everybody watching this today felt like that list of 30 different options actually overwhelmed me. It was like, oh my God, I got so much I need to go do. I'm sure most of us here on that panel felt the same way, which is why everyone's just saying the same thing, is you have to make sure that you take one of these or a couple of these different prospecting ideas, lead generation ideas, and you work them. I love this. Everybody, I'm in. I'm definitely doing it too. So if you guys are doing it, make sure you put in I'm in the chat. A couple things I wanted to point out as I also have a list that I sent out.
We just got like 30 people that are in. Way to go, gang.
And I guarantee you, out of those 30 people, we will have multiple buyers and sellers by next week. We'll have dozens if everybody does this. It just works, you guys. Mass action is what we need to do. I love that list. I also posted a list of prospecting activities or lead generation activities in the chat. It kind of goes from the most valuable that you can get a lead today, which I know we spoke about last week, which open houses. If you guys are looking for leads and buyers today, I highly recommend you get into open houses. If you don't have your own listings, talk to people in your brokerage, talk to people on your team for brokerage. That would be the fastest way, in my opinion, to get going. But I absolutely love this, you guys. You need to get in front of people. You need to be talking to people every single day. It doesn't matter if it's at the coffee shop, if it's at the grocery store, it can be at the hotel we're at here or on the ski lifts. Every single person I talk to while I'm out skiing, I'm talking to about real estate, where we're from, where they're from. You need to be talking about your profession and building that repertoire. And you'll be amazed. When we were in Park City, David, you'd be surprised. I would say 30% of all of the people I spoke to on the lifts were from Sanibel Island, Naples, Florida, my area in Florida. And we're all the way out here in Utah. It's amazing when you put yourself out there, when you let people know that you are the real estate expert in your area, how many people will gravitate towards you. The number one thing I teach all of my team members is every single day, Monday through Sunday, you need to have at least 10 face-to-face or voice conversations with people explaining that you're in real estate, you're looking to do business, you are looking for business, and ask for it, you guys. If you ask for business, if you ask for people to help you, just like this script that Mitch posted here, if you ask for it, you'll be amazed at how people are going to gravitate towards you. They're going to use you. They're going to reach out to you. And that is our business, is talking about our business, letting people know that we need their help. We need their friends. We need their family to use us, and we expect them to. So that was just all I want to say. 10 to 20 people a day, every single day until you die. Talk to real estate. Talk about real estate.
till you die. So therefore, Kim, you have a long way to go. I'm gonna be done in about 6 weeks. So
That's why it's called
guys, I
next
have to-
gen.
yeah. Anybody else have anything to add? 'Cause I've got to hop off and go to my meeting. But guys, like we're all saying the same thing, right? Just do it, right? I think we actually coined that, and then Nike stole it from us. Just do it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, guys. We'll see
Push
you all
the
next week.
dang
Okay.
button, Bert.
Thanks,
The dang button.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right,
thanks,
guys.
Thank
guys.
you.
I'm heading out to go skiing at Snowbird. So this is the first time we've ever finished. We always finish on time, but 5 minutes early. Thanks.
Yeah, 5 minutes extra. Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye,
Go-
guys.
Go Eagles.
Let's go, Eagles.